Hang out with me for a minute. I've got a story to tell you. Welcome back to another Adulthood Rewired Story Time. And today's story is a parenting story, as a lot of my stories tend to be. I wrote this a while ago. My son is 18 now. He was 13 when I wrote this. But I wrote it because I think it's really important to take moments amongst the sanity and just remember why exactly we're doing this, and that all of the struggles and the insanity are not just ours alone. There's a lot of us, if not most of us, going through it. So whether you're thinking of having a family, starting a family now, your kids are somewhere in between, or they're about to leave the nest like one of mine is, just know that it really takes a village, even if your village is a virtual village like this one. And well, not to sound cliche, we're all in this together. So without further ado, here is my story. The title of this story is Stop, Breathe, Listen, Advice from a Mama of Bigs. Let me preface this story by saying that I'm writing it almost more as a reminder to myself than as just another entry in my blog. Because parenting is hard, really hard. Parenting consciously, even more so. Parenting alone, hardest of all. And I'm trying to do all of the above while staying sane, as I'm sure many of you are as well. I am the main custodial parent for my children. They see their dad twice a week, which is fine, as I like for them to have the stability of one home for the rest of the week. Of course, this means that when it comes to laying down the law, getting everything ready and taking care of meals, activities, homework, school drop-off and pickup, sibling rivalry, MMA fights, breakups, and everything else in between, well, it's pretty much just me doing it for all or most of the week. All this while holding down several freelance jobs to make ends meet. But I'm not complaining. I'm really not. My kids are healthy and doing as well as I could have hoped after going through divorce and the death of their beloved grandfather almost back to back. I have a roof over our heads and can put food on the table. I can provide all of the basics and don't mind using every last penny I have on them. Not to spoil them, but to make sure they have clothes and shoes that fit and the right kind of food and supplements to keep them healthy. But that's what we do as mothers, isn't it? We sacrifice and give over and over again, even when it feels like no one notices or appreciates it. Which is what can make bad behavior so difficult to understand or tolerate sometimes. Here we are giving everything down to our souls, only to have kids complain, whine, and moan that nothing is fair, that you're the uncoolest mom or dad ever, that you just don't understand, that so-and-so's parents are way nicer, that you don't care about me. Petty words, really, but when you give your all to your kids, those words cut deep. And it's hard not to take these word tantrums to heart. It's a process all kids go through. We all did, even me, while living in fear of la chancla. And while I never voiced those thoughts because of the chancletazo that was sure to ensue, I know I felt them. And so did all of you. Be honest. Still doesn't make it any easier hearing those words out of the mouths of your own babes. But that is what wine was invented for, surely. My kids are generally very good. My daughter is a straight A, 11-year-old perfectionist, mini me and mini nerd. My son, on the other hand, he's an artist with a kind heart, but he is 13. Good God, he is 13. Nobody, and I mean nobody, prepared me for parenting a teenage boy, a 5'11" man-child who knows everything about everything and is too cool for school. It's tough. He lacks a consistent male role model, someone who comes home at the end of the day every day and really checks in with him. Boys need that. He needs that. But at the end of the day, I do the best that I can, and I know he loves his mama. I've planted every seed I possibly can to ensure he grows up to be a good man, so I have to trust that he will. But right now, he's 13. He is 13. That's why I have to write this story, to remind myself that parenting is hard, but not just for me. It's hard for all of us. Regardless of whether we are single parents, have teens or toddlers, have an amazing partner, it's hard. We are creating a legacy, and that takes work. A lot of it. Selfishness and immaturity have no place in this game, at least not for the parents. Raising kids takes grit, determination, discipline, and a lot of sacrifice. Convenience is not part of the equation. Babies are not accessories. Children are not vehicles in which we should live out our own fantasies of becoming the next top model or star athlete. These people we create are meant to challenge the hell out of us, and they will, consistently. And we are meant to mold them, shape them, teach them to become the best version of themselves, even when we feel like communicating with a brick wall would be easier and far more pleasant. Every stage and every age goes by so quickly and present you with so many challenges that you may feel are insurmountable at the moment. The sad thing is that when we are in those moments, we don't realize how much we have to cherish them until they're gone. And we're dealing with different and bigger problems. One moment, we're researching games for 3-year-olds, and the next minute, we're worrying about whether they'll text us and drive because all of a sudden they're 16. It all happens so fast. So fast. Or maybe the problems are smaller or fewer, but then so are the moments you actually get to share with your children. One day they go from talking incessantly to the point where you want to go hide in a soundproof booth for 1 hour. And the next thing you know, they just don't really have anything to say to you anymore. They have their friends to talk to. They go from throwing tantrums to just rolling their eyes at you and walking away. Which is easier? It's all relative, I guess. But yeah, parenting is hard. Every age, every stage, beautiful and crazy and exhausting and exhilarating and amazing and maddening, all rolled into one. So take a minute to stop, breathe, and listen to those kids. Do it now before they leave home to start their own lives, and eventually, maybe, their own families. You may not want to hear school gossip or complaining about how unfair life is because Sally got a bigger burrito at lunch. You may not want to hear every single last nuance about playing Fortnite, and that's okay. I don't either. But just do it. It won't make parenting any easier, but I think we need to stop and savor certain moments before they're gone. And they go so quickly. Remember how one day you were holding your kids and the next day they were too heavy, too big? You couldn't imagine it happening, did you? But it did. Out of nowhere. Still blows my mind, to be honest. My arms feel so empty sometimes. Of course, I'm writing this while I sit on my couch, sandwiched by 2 sleeping dogs. Kids are at their dad's house. When I get them back, I'll probably lose my mind when they start arguing over who's breathing louder and count the minutes till bedtime. But from now on, I will make more of an effort to stop, breathe, listen. I'll be writing more about this as I am about to enter a phase of half of an empty nest. So more stories to come, not just about parenting, but all of the things we go through in the adulthood. Thank you so much for joining me today, and click like, subscribe, share, drop me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite and least favorite parenting moments have been. And I look forward to continuing to rewire adulthood together. See you next time.